Hey everyone, it's Jen and you're watching The Screening Lady. Okay, so like everyone else in the whole world, I was also glued to my screen, whether it was watching the social media or watching news outlets, just making sure I was updated with who would win the US elections. And while we definitely know that that chapter has been closed, it's very interesting to see Netflix suddenly recommend to me, or most likely properly schedule for me, the release of Independence Day, which is one of my most favorite films. It is directed by Roland Emmerich, starring probably the best president ever, well, best fictional president, and the best fictional presidential speech. 24 years later, I think around that time, it's still very highly rewatchable. I've only ever seen it maybe like 2 years before and another year before that. But ultimately, I think it has one of the most iconic shots. It's a bit sensitive now, but if you saw the White House be destroyed by an alien laser beam in the 90s, you know you have to watch that film. And while we can definitely forget the special effects that hasn't aged that well, I think it's still a movie that's very funny. It's family friendly action adventure film that's best left to stand alone. Basically, let's just be in this reality where resurgence never happened. And as long as we're on the same page, let's talk about what works for this film until now and what doesn't quite work. Alright, so what works for me, what still works for me first and foremost, are the three main actors. And I say actors because I don't even remember the character names anymore. Maybe just President Whitmore, but that's it. I think that while this definitely catapulted Will Smith's film career after being known as the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, personally, he still is the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I think this movie is definitely carried by equally by these two other main actors, Bill Pullman and Jeff Goldblum. While Will Smith definitely have the charm and the humor, actually all of them have the charm anyway, but Will Smith had the humor, Bill Pullman had the smolder, I guess, and then Jeff Goldblum had, he's always had this geeky, dorky, pleasant attitude or personality that anyone wants to make him a successful character in the story for whatever film he's in. And to be honest, growing up, I could never really see anyone else playing their characters. I know them as actors, but I think overall, the chemistry that they have, whether it's to the camera or with each other when they have scenes together, I think it's really what hooked me in the movie from start to finish. The second scene that I want to talk about that still holds up to this day is the Rover scene. Rover had his own money shot and it made the trailer, I think. He was jumping from like a packed tunnel towards a maintenance shelter where Vivica and her son were hiding, and he was jumping to them with explosions going on. And I remember being in the theater watching that, and everyone was just screaming and cheering for joy that he finally made it. And to be honest, if I remember any other experiences that I've had, the only other similar experience is probably watching Avengers Endgame, and that scene where everyone was just coming together. Although, as a side note, in a completely different reason, another unique experience was watching A Quiet Place in the theaters. But anyways, going back to Independence Day, I think, after watching that scene all the time, even if I know that Rover is always gonna make it, that still chokes me up. Okay, so the third scene I think that still holds up would be the Randy Quaid storyline. To be honest, he was probably the actor that I least knew about, and I was only being invested in his parts because of, number one of his kids was Mrs. Doubtfire's daughter, and second is, if you're a preteen like me when this movie was released, there was Andrew Keegan, and you always had to make time for Andrew Keegan. So yeah, but by the end of the movie, towards the end of the movie, spoilers alert, where he had to finally sacrifice his aircraft to bring down the alien ship, it still chokes me up, especially as you see the character development of his son from hating him to being really proud of him. That was the intention. The writing was, we'll talk about that later, but that choked me up still. And last but not the least, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. The speech of President Whitmore is, I know, I just wonder how many theater kids used that as an audition piece in the 90s. Probably not a lot. I would have. Anyway, going back. I think it was only as effective as, to be honest, the two other extras who made it to that shot. I don't even know if they were given the advice that they were gonna make it. I don't know if they knew that the camera was gonna pan to them, but you know, if I were one of those extras and I was coming into my job with the hope maybe that I will get, you know, a couple of screen time seconds, they really gave like the most passionate salute and the most passionate gun salute, or whatever you call it. I think those really drove the speech. I mean, call it cheesy, call it corny, but you know, it really got everyone fired up, and it'll always be a crucial scene in the film. In a way, I kind of liked it too, because President Whitmore called out that July 4th isn't just Independence Day for the Americans, it's for the whole world. And I'm like, yay! So if we talk about what doesn't work, it's really more of a series of questions as I get older and I still keep watching the film. One of the main things that are always glaring in my head would be, how come they meet in the Oval Office like a lot? Kiefer Sutherland has told me that, you know, when there are situations like this, crisis or whatever, any kind of risky things going on, there are protocols, playbooks, they go to some sort of shelter or whatever, and that doesn't happen in this film. They just gather in the Oval Office and wait for things to happen. And apart from that, the more I pay attention to the script, the more I kind of, you know, these are all very stereotypical lines. Maybe some of them, you know, you are given a smoldering president who kicks ass, so he says smoldering kick-ass lines. I'm sick and tired of seeing this Secretary General, or is it President? Yeah, Secretary of Defense. Is it Secretary of Defense who's always like the bad guy in these kinds of films, who believes in the best solutions last? It gets tiring, and I guess over 2010s and beyond, we get some development from there. Another development is, you know, having US save the day, like always. If you remember in the scene where they were coordinating like a simultaneous attack, and then we have like a couple of seconds screen time for these British soldiers, and one of them was like, the Americans, they're doing like a simultaneous attack or whatever, and then this other guy was like, about bloody time. You know, other nations can do the work also. And you know, most recently, I just can't remember what movies now, but most recently, you know, it's a joint effort, like make it more global, basically. The solution, I think, is a product of its time. Back then, you know, it was very clever that, okay, the only solution turns out to be a virus planted in the alien ship, alien mothership. And while, you know, at that time it was pretty cool, I wonder if Norton antivirus existed also. Maybe, you know, maybe a couple of years later it probably existed. And, you know, I'm just thinking, if there were some advanced alien race, you'd kind of think they would have some sort of antivirus software also. I don't know. I don't click the auto update anyway, so maybe they didn't update. Overall, if you really just want to kick back and enjoy a fun movie, you know, keep watching this. The strength of this film, I think, is the triumph over the unknown. And while definitely the writing is either flat or stereotypical or, you know, not thought-provoking or whatever, I really don't care for this movie. I was enjoying it, and if you enjoy watching something as a kid, it takes a lot for you to hate the film after even seeing the flaws. So let me know what you think of Independence Day. Have you given it a rewatch? Do you still like it? Do you hate it now? And let me know in the comments. And as always, if you have nothing else to do, just like and subscribe this channel. There's plenty more to come. Thanks. Bye, everyone.